When did your parents' strictness literally almost unalived you? My parents were absolutely convinced that friends would corrupt me. At 15, I wasn't allowed to hang out with anyone outside of school. While my classmates were building lifelong bonds, I was locked in my room every afternoon, studying alone under my mother's watchful eye. The isolation was brutal. Every time someone invited me somewhere, Mom would interrogate me for hours. Who will be there? What are their parents like? She'd always find some reason to say no. Dad would nod along, adding, "Bad company corrupts good character. We're protecting your future." I begged them constantly. "Please just trust me. I promise I'll make good choices." But Mom would launch into her usual speech about how teenagers can't be trusted, how peer pressure destroys promising kids. "Look at the Henderson boy," she'd say. Straight A's until he started hanging with that crowd. The loneliness was eating me alive. I'd watch through my bedroom window as groups of kids walked by, laughing and talking. I started having conversations with myself just to hear a voice that wasn't lecturing me. That's when I met Jake online. He was in my chemistry class, but we'd never really talked. He messaged me one night about homework, and somehow we ended up chatting for hours. He understood what it felt like to be trapped. "My parents are the same way," he typed, but I found ways around it. After months of online friendship, Jake suggested we meet in person. "There's this abandoned warehouse where kids hang out sometimes," he wrote. "Your parents would never find out, just for an hour. You deserve to feel normal." I knew it was risky, but the desperation was overwhelming. I told my parents I was going to the library for extra study time. They were so proud of my dedication that they didn't question it. The warehouse was exactly what I'd imagined freedom would feel like. A dozen kids from school were there, just talking and laughing without adult supervision, doing 18+ stuff. For the first time in years, I felt like I belonged somewhere. Jake introduced me to everyone. They were surprised to see me, the hermit girl finally emerging from isolation. But they welcomed me warmly. That's when someone pulled out a small bag of pills. "It's nothing crazy," Jake assured me when he saw my expression. "Just something to help you relax. Everyone's tried it." I shook my head immediately. "I can't. My parents would unalive me." The group exchanged glances. "Your parents aren't here," one girl said gently. "This is your chance to make your own choices." The peer pressure wasn't aggressive. It was understanding. These kids knew exactly how suffocated I felt, how desperate I was to prove I could be normal, trusted, independent. "Just once," Jake said. "You've been good your whole life. Don't you deserve one moment of rebellion?" I thought about my parents' constant lectures about corruption, about how they'd never trust me with anything, about how I'd never get another chance like this. I took the pill. At first, everything felt amazing. The anxiety I'd carried for years melted away. I was laughing, talking, feeling connected to people for the first time in my life. Then my vision started blurring. "Something's wrong," I told Jake, but my words came out slurred. The room was spinning, and my heart was racing in a way that felt dangerous. "You're fine," someone said, but their voice sounded far away. "Just ride it out." I wasn't fine. My chest felt tight, and I couldn't catch my breath. I tried to stand up, but my legs wouldn't support me. The last thing I remember was Jake's panicked face as I collapsed. I woke up in the hospital a few hours later. My parents were sitting beside my bed, and I'd never seen them look so broken. Mom's eyes were red and swollen. Dad looked like he'd aged 10 years. "The doctor said you had a severe reaction," Mom whispered. "Your heart stopped once in the ambulance." "We found the messages on your phone," Dad said quietly. "We know about Jake, about the warehouse, about everything." I expected them to explode with anger, to lecture me about how right they'd been all along. Instead, they just looked devastated. "We failed you," Mom said, tears streaming down her face. "We were so afraid of losing you to bad influences that we pushed you straight into them." The friends I'd been so desperate to impress never visited once.